On Christmas morning, my parents smiled and handed my sister a key, then told me, "We bought her a house." I swear, something inside me cracked so loudly I felt like the entire room could hear it. My sister screamed and jumped like she'd just won the lottery, but I just sat there, frozen, staring at the shiny silver key dangling from my parents' fingers. And here's the part that really broke me. My mom looked me dead in the eyes and said, "We didn't think you needed anything this big." Tell me, was I wrong for what I did after that? Would you have reacted calmly, or would you have snapped the way I eventually did? The entire thing started long before that Christmas morning disaster. Growing up, I was always the responsible kid, the one who got good grades, who came home on time, who helped with chores without complaining. My sister, on the other hand, was the wild one, the problem child, the one who crashed her car at 17, dropped out of college twice, and brought home boyfriends my parents pretended to like, but secretly hated. Even with all of that, she was always given more attention, more affection, more forgiveness. I told myself for years that maybe I was being dramatic. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe I didn't need the same level of affection she did. But as I got older, the imbalance became louder, clearer, and impossible to ignore. When I turned 18, I moved out for college, working part-time to support myself because my parents said they could only afford to help, one child at a time. And my sister, mysteriously, always needed help first. When she failed out of college, they paid for her apartment because she needed stability. When I asked for help with textbooks one semester, they told me to budget better. When she lost her job, they blamed her boss. When I got promoted at mine, they barely said congratulations. It became a pattern. Her mistakes were understandable, forgivable, even sympathetic. My accomplishments were expected, normal, not a big deal. Still, I kept showing up. Birthdays, holidays, family dinners. I told myself that family wasn't supposed to be perfect, but they were still mine. As we got older, the gap only widened. I graduated, got a stable job, and eventually moved back to my hometown to be closer to them. I expected, stupidly, maybe, that being physically nearby would finally make them see me, appreciate me. But instead, all the attention continued to orbit around my sister, who was now planning to move in with her boyfriend, a guy who clearly wanted a free ride. My parents adored him for reasons I still don't understand. My dad even called him hardworking once, even though the guy hadn't held a real job in over a year. So when Christmas rolled around last year, I genuinely believed I had finally accepted things for what they were. I wasn't expecting a big gift. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anything except a nice breakfast and some time with my family. But the moment I walked into the house that morning, something felt off. My parents were too cheerful. My sister was glowing like she'd already won. Her boyfriend kept smirking at me in this weird, smug way that I didn't understand until later. We all gathered in the living room, lights glowing, soft Christmas music playing. My mom held a tiny wrapped box in her hand and looked at me and my sister with this huge smile. "Girls," she said, "we have something very special this year. Something life-changing." That should have been my clue. Life-changing gifts are not given equally in my family. They're given in one direction only. She handed the box to my sister. Not to both of us, not even to me after, just her. My sister peeled open the wrapping, lifted the lid, and gasped so loudly it echoed. Inside was a key, a house key. I blinked, confused, until my dad spoke in that proud dad voice I rarely heard directed at me. "We bought her a house, a starter home, something she can grow into with her future family." My sister burst into tears. My parents hugged her tightly. Her boyfriend immediately started talking about where the gaming room would go. I sat there smiling politely at first, because I truly thought, for a moment, that maybe there was going to be a second key somewhere. Maybe they were about to say there was something for me too. Maybe this was part of some equal gift surprise. But then my mom turned toward me, touched my shoulder softly and said, "Don't look so surprised, honey. You're the strong one. You don't need help the way she does." And then she walked away. That sentence, it did something to me. You don't need help. But I did. I always did. I just stopped asking because they always said no. My sister ran around the house celebrating while my parents took pictures. I excused myself to the bathroom because I could feel my chest tightening and my eyes burning. I locked the door and stared at my reflection, thinking, why am I only ever good enough when they need something from me? Why am I never the child worth investing in? For the rest of the morning, I stayed quiet. I listened to them talk about renovations and paint colors and how excited They were for my sister's fresh start. Not once did they notice how silent I was. Not once did they ask how I felt. I didn't ruin the moment. I didn't make a scene, but something inside me shifted permanently. Now here's where the story gets messy. Because after that Christmas, I pulled away. Slowly at first, then fully. I stopped going to weekly dinners, stopped answering every call, stopped helping my parents with technology problems, errands, house repairs, all the things I had always done. And for a while, they didn't notice. They were too busy helping my sister paint her new kitchen. But a few months later, everything changed. It started when my dad called me and asked if I could come over to help him with some financial paperwork. Normally, I would have said yes instantly. But that day I said, "I'm busy." He paused, confused, then asked if I could come later. I said, "I don't think so." My mom called the next day asking if I could pick up groceries for them because she was tired. I told her, "I'm not available." It was the first time in my life I'd said no to them consistently. And suddenly they noticed. Weeks passed, and the calls grew more frequent. My mom left long voicemails about how she felt like I was drifting away. My dad texted me asking if he had done something wrong, but I couldn't bring myself to explain. I didn't know how to say, "I'm tired of being the strong one so you can justify neglecting me." Now here's the engagement moment. So that's the situation I was in, and I had to make a choice. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have confronted them? Cut them off? Tried to fix things? Tell me honestly. Months later, everything finally exploded. My parents invited both me and my sister over for a family dinner. I didn't want to go, but something in me said it was time. When I arrived, the mood was strange. My sister and her boyfriend were already there, eating like nothing was wrong. My parents sat across from them with tense smiles. Halfway through dinner, my mom cleared her throat dramatically and said, "We feel like you've been distant, and it's hurting us." I nodded slowly and said, "I have been." My dad asked why. My sister rolled her eyes and muttered, "Here we go." That's when I snapped. Not yelling, not screaming, but with a calmness that was sharper than anger. I said, "You bought her a house. You didn't buy me anything. You didn't even think about it. You didn't consider giving me help. You didn't think I deserved it." My mom immediately rushed into excuses. She needed stability. "You're independent. You've always been stronger. We knew you'd understand." I looked at her and said, "No. You assumed I'd tolerate being treated like I don't matter." My sister got defensive, saying, "It's not my fault they love me." I laughed, a bitter, broken laugh, and said, "It's absolutely your fault when you accept things you know are unfair." The room went silent. My dad tried to calm things down, but I told them everything, every little moment from childhood, every ignored accomplishment, every time I was punished harsher, every time she was defended, every time I needed help and they simply didn't care. By the end, my voice was shaking, but I felt lighter. My parents didn't know what to say. My sister looked uncomfortable, maybe guilty, but she said nothing. Not even an apology. That night, I told my parents I needed space, real space. I told them I wouldn't be coming around much anymore. And then I left. In the months since, I've built a life without depending on their approval. And for the first time in my life, they're the ones chasing me. They call, text, apologize, ask how they can fix things. They've even admitted they were wrong, though I'm still deciding how much it matters now. My sister, she moved into her house and hasn't spoken to me since. So that's the story. And I still wonder, was I wrong for walking away? Or was this the only way to save my sanity? Anyway, if you were on my side like this video, if you want more stories like this, make sure you subscribe. And please share your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know what you think. I'll see you all in the next story.